people out that they're the ones that changed the regulations. They're the ones that created the derivatives. They're the ones that are a revolving door in there robbing the bank.
Well, there'll be a limit to how much of that I can do because I'll have a 5-minute opening statement and 5 minutes to quiz the individuals. But they're not sending the people that would that you could really hit on those questions. They're sending the general counsel. Now, he's going to be a legal guy. He's going to explain the law and that sort of thing. They're going to hide behind the technicalities of the law. I think your suggestions are good. We should call on them, but I will have to decide tomorrow exactly how I'm going to hit them and what the atmosphere is like.
Sure, we don't want to let the cat out of the bag or let them know our plan of attack to defend the Republic. But clearly, if you say, sir, because obviously you're going to be asking him questions for a future hearing, can you go back and ask him how the Treasury Department and the Federal Reserve gives itself waivers to allow them to give money to institutions they own stock in?
Yeah. Well, it should be shocking, but unfortunately, that's about the way they run everything. They're always, skirting the law. It's only the people who have to, if they have any infraction on not obeying an illegal law or disobeying or obeying the Constitution, then the roof comes down on us. But for them, that's, just routine activities. But they should be called on it, and that's exactly where the American people are waking up. They're sick and tired of hearing it, and the more they hear it, the better.
Congressman, looking at this, Congressman Grayson pointed out in the last hour, you in 1983 first introduced this audit the Fed bill, and then now here we are 25, 26 years later, and even though it may take a few more years to really have victory over these people, we are now, I believe, in the end game here. And can you speak to the power of perseverance and focus, you literally on the front lines toiling to do this, and then what is it like for you to actually see Jerusalem, to actually be going into the Promised Land, to now be able to look over the mountain, and after this 10,000-mile journey, you're now only a few hundred miles away?
I don't like to address that in a personal way as much as in general. I think if an individual wants, if a person wants to change things, they have to deal in principle. They have to have an ability to state it clearly, and they have to persevere. Perseverance, I think, is very, very important, but you have to have truth on your side, and eventually you do win. Actually, I did not believe we would get this far. I did not believe that the campaign that we ran last year would get very far. So it was much more encouraging to me to realize that there were a lot of people. I believed when I came to Congress, matter of fact, when I ran, I never thought I was even coming to Congress. When I came, I thought, well, my role and responsibility is to try to leave a record to saying, what would it be like if you had somebody that took the oath of office very seriously? How would that person vote? Realizing, what I was up against, because I realized I would use the term, you can't really run against Santa Claus, that you're not going to get reelected. So I was surprised I got elected, surprised I got reelected, but pleasantly surprised to find out that this attitude of perseverance and standing for principle, really can bring about, good results. So I'm pleased with it, but it's the power of the ideas more than my personal abilities, quite frankly.
Well, sir, I appreciate your humbleness. I'm not here trying to lavish praise on you for praise's sake. I think as a model or an example of perseverance, you are the standard. You're the blood of courage, and I want you to know that, I have 3 children, just like you have a lot of children and grandchildren, and I care about them, and I know that we're going to be a third world hell if you're not successful, if I'm not successful, and I just really do admire you, and I know for everybody out there, we want to thank you for all you've done.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that, and evidently our numbers are much bigger than any of us knows. You know the story about the remnant. Nobody can count the remnant. Nobody knows where they are, but they're out there, and I think we each and every one of them are looking for each other, and it's just great to find allies. I always tell people at my crowds, I said, I don't know what tomorrow will bring, and I don't have, I don't have over expectations. But in the meantime, we ought to have an enjoyment of associating with like-minded people and having these goals and ideals, because at least we can say that we made the effort and we communicated. But fortunately for us today, we have seen some fruits of our labor. Can you imagine fighting this battle in 1939 or sometime back then when the New Deal was in and then the world empire was really starting, the militarism of the world? I would have thought back in 1938 and 39 in the Roosevelt era, it must have been pretty humbling for those who were trying to hold these principles together.
We've only got 7 minutes left with the congressman. I'm going to skip this break so we have time to do that. It's a network break. And before he leaves, we're going to talk about his new book, In the Fed, a manifesto, a constitution against this abomination, one arm of this larger private crime syndicate. But, Congressman, what can we do briefly to fight and help you and others that are leading this charge to defeat the Fed quicker in this battle, in this war for truth? And then B, what do you think their counterstrikes are going to be? The Governors Association a month ago wrote a letter to the Pentagon and the White House saying, what are you doing saying 379,000 troops they now want for Brigade Homeland through Northcom? And that's also in the Progressive and AP. They are, I don't know if you've seen this, suddenly we're getting YouTube videos from Kingman, Arizona to Louisville, Kentucky of regular National Guard and Army running checkpoints, searching people. We've gone and interviewed them now. And it appears that we're seeing a slow takeover. And former Congressman, former Republican leader was in the Dallas Morning News, Dick Armey, just giving you a quick briefing in case I'm sure you know about most of it, saying, yes, he believes Obama may use the flu scare to kind of smokescreen passing health care, gun control, open borders, financial reform, giving the banks more power. So can you speak to what we can do to fight these people and to the whole police state that's really expanding right now?
Well, I'm afraid posse comitatus is about dead, according to what Obama wants. You know, when they passed the HIPAA law was the one that said that they were going to protect your medical privacy. In actuality, it was exactly the opposite. Because in that HIPAA law, it said in case of a national emergency, the government has a right to all your records. Now, you talk about a scare. They keep scaring and frightening people, and they put the high executives taking these flu shots and how dangerous it is and on and on. So I think they're almost just welcoming and waiting. Boy, if there's just a little bit more, we can declare all this national emergency stuff. But it's done under, they have set the stage for doing it under medical control and control of disease. It's always, for these wonderful things. But unfortunately, I'm afraid the American people are going to suffer the consequences. But all we can do is expose them for what they are, and hopefully the American people will wake up.
Well, this really hit home for me, and I've talked to the county that Pittsburgh is in. You grew up there. What's the name of the county?
Allegheny.
Yeah, Allegheny. And I talked to the police officer. We got his name. My guys were trying to interview the military and trying to ask him, because there's 2,500 of them there, including regular Army and Air Force, along with National Guard. They said, man, we speak to your public relations officer. And they said, no, we're not going to talk to you. Get out of here. And they followed him, got their license plate, and then called up posing as the rental car company, the police department did. And then when they told him who they were, the police officer switched gears and said, well, you're now on terror databases. You'll never get off of it. Laughed at him. And my employees are freaked out. These are just camera guys I've hired. And I called the police officer and I said, did you really do that? And he said, yeah, I did that. He thought it was funny to ruin people's lives.
Yeah. No, that's pretty bad.
In the Fed by Congressman Ron Paul, climbing up the top charts. Sir, we have 30 seconds left. Final comment.
All I know is that we're making progress, and I am very pleased. I just hope we can continue this way. And if we do our job, we can win this, but we live in very dangerous times.
God bless you, sir. Godspeed, and say hi to Carol and the rest of the family, and say hi to Wayne and everybody for us. And again, we'll see you next time.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, this is Alex Jones with some important questions. If you're going into a battle and they give you a rifle and a sidearm, how much ammunition do you want? My answer would be all I can get. In the battle for freedom and the lives of your loved ones, food is your only ammunition. How much do you want? When do you want it? Now or after the battle starts? When will you need it? Can you buy it without proper identification? Will there be any food? Will it make your children sick? If there's a quarantine